Hey guys, what's going on? You're watching T-Bones Tech, and in this video we're going to be exposing Canon's camera lineup. Not really, we're actually going to be comparing the T6i against the brand new T7. Now the reason I said exposed in the beginning is I think you guys are going to be very shocked at the conclusion of this comparison. For those of you wondering, I have previously owned the T6i, and I sold it about 6 months ago when I got the new T7i. So I am extremely familiar with the T6i. I have also previously owned the Canon T6, and I think I owned that camera for about 6 months before selling that one. If you guys want to see my review of the T6i, I'm going to have a link in the description down below where you guys can check out my full review of the T6i. Unfortunately, I don't have any hands-on time with the T7 yet, so I don't have a review to point you guys to. However, I have pre-ordered that camera and it's going to be coming in the mail in a couple more weeks. Now first off, and most importantly, we are going to talk about price. The T7 costs $549 with its kit 18 to 55mm non-STM lens. Now we're going to get into the difference between STM and non-STM here in a second. But first we gotta talk about the T6i. Canon no longer sells the T6i, but you can pick up a certified refurbished one from Amazon for $448. Yes, that's $1 cheaper than the T7. And the T6i ships with an 18 to 55mm STM lens. Now the STM lens is much newer than the non-STM lens. It's going to be much more quieter when focusing, and it's overall a much more sharp lens than the old non-STM lens that ships with the T7. Both the T6i and the T7 have the exact same 24 megapixel APS-C size sensor. And this sensor is going to be found on almost every brand new Canon camera with an APS-C size sensor. And because they have the exact same sensor, the image quality between these two is going to be almost identical as far as the sensor goes. But if we are comparing these two cameras with the lenses that they ship with, the T6i is going to be sharper because it has a better, newer lens. When it comes to low light photography and using higher ISOs, the T6i is going to be better than the T7 because it has a newer, better image processor. The T6i has a max ISO of 25,600 and the T7 has a max ISO of 12,800. So you get one extra stop of ISO capability with the T6. The T6i has a awesome flip out tilt touchscreen, which is going to be great for getting hard to frame shots, and it's also going to be great if you are planning on vlogging or taking selfies with this camera. Now unfortunately, the T7 just has a thick screen on the back of the camera, and it's also not a touchscreen, so because of that you're just going to have a lot less flexibility with this camera. The T6i has an external microphone jack, so you can plug in a shotgun microphone on top of the camera, and you're going to be able to pull good high quality external audio straight into this camera without having to deal with syncing up the audio later in post. Unfortunately, the T7 does not have a microphone in jack. The T6i has 19 autofocusing points and the T7 unfortunately only has 9. Now as far as sports photography goes, the T6i can shoot 4.8 frames a second, and unfortunately the T7 can only shoot 3. The more pictures you can take in a short amount of time are going to really increase your chances of getting that one definitive perfect shot. As far as build quality goes, the T7 is Canon's cheapest DSLR, so definitely expect the T6i to have overall better build quality. As far as battery life goes, expect both of these cameras to get around the same exact battery life of around 500 shots, give or take. Both of these cameras have Wi-Fi and NFC, and that means you can pair both of these cameras to your smartphone. You can actually use your phone as a live viewfinder, and you can also change your settings such as your aperture, ISO, and a lot more settings with Canon's Camera Connect app. The T7 has the SD card on the bottom of the camera, and that can be a really big pain if you have a big tripod mount attached to the bottom of the camera. You're gonna have to first take that tripod mount off, and then you're going to be able to access your SD card. Now, the T6i has the SD card right where it should be, and that's on the side of the camera, so you don't have to worry about your camera being mounted to a tripod. You can easily access the SD card and aren't going to have to worry about that. The T6i has a infrared receiver on the grip of the camera, and unfortunately the T7 does not. You can buy an infrared remote for like $8 on Amazon, and that's going to be great, especially if you don't have a smartphone or don't want to have to deal with pairing your smartphone to your camera. Overall, the T6i is far superior to the T7. And if you can pick up a T6i for $1 less than the T7, I definitely recommend doing so. So I'm going to be leaving a link in the description down below where you guys can check out a refurbished T6i with its STM lens for just $1 cheaper than the T7. And what's good about this is the T6i is actually out right now, and as of filming the video right now, the T7 isn't even released. That's all I got for you guys in this video. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Or is there anything that I missed when comparing these two cameras? I am definitely interested to know. So make sure to leave a comment down below and we can start a dialogue, and I'm going to be responding to everybody who leaves a comment on this video. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, definitely make sure to give this video a big thumbs up down below. And of course, make sure to subscribe to this channel and then be notified when I release a new video to this YouTube channel. Again, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.